All right, everybody. So what I have to do first, I have to send an invite to Bobby so that he can join us on the restream. I don't know exactly where he is, but I will shoot. Yeah, I'll fire off an email to him and then we'll see if he responds. Last I spoke to him, he claimed that he was like flying into New York, but I haven't really been able to find him. Let me just see something.
What's going on?
Hey, look who's here! So we have Bobby live from Sheets World. He came on in, braved the Long Island Railroad, and we are officially live. Just make sure that you guys can hear. Make sure you guys can hear both of us. He came on in.
Oh, sorry about that. Trying to mute myself.
Yeah,
Good to see you guys. Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. It's different. I've never done a show exactly like this before. I've had Grant sneak in a few times at the end when we were in the same place, but this is fun. Let's get it tonight. I'm excited. I think it's good luck, good vibes, and hopefully we take down a big one.
Yeah, I always like to make sure that people are actually hearing us. So if anybody can hear me, if you could just type into the chat, that would be really great. And I always have this this conspiracy theory that like everybody's like conspiring to like just not say anything and like pretend that they can't hear us. And then we'll go and we'll do the slate.
Yeah, and I mean it must be working though because we did have the there we go. Yeah, what's up, Jamie? Good to see you. Good to see you, Michael. Yeah, I was hearing it on my end, so I'm glad to know that it's still working. And we've got your sheets up there. So
this looks like a split screen, but it's actually not a split screen. It's actually a brown thing, literally in between us.
It's true.
So let's talk about the baseball slate. We'll take some questions, and then we'll maybe fire off some NBA stuff. So I mean, Bobby, who do you like? What's going on?
Yeah, so basically what I'm at is like, I mean, I'm having a hard time getting away from the stacks that I like the most, which are the Cubs, Astros, and Mariners. I would say that the Astros would be a little bit ahead of the Cubs for me, but it's really close. So I think that the Astros 1, Cubs 2, Mariners 3, and then I like the Yankees like 2-men, and I have some 2-men, some White Sox, Abreu, Anderson stacks. And I like double, if I play where I'm playing Anderson, I'm playing some Baez on FanDuel, double playing the shortstops over there. And there's a lot of weird ways to go on pitching. So I'm trying to embrace it. And actually, I'm going to be spending down for some of my SP2s. I don't even mind double spending down. I actually, I like Stripling, and I kind of like Chris Flexen tonight. I know there's a million aces on the mound. You say, oh, how can we get those points? How can we get those points from them? Stripling, when he's on, you can get that from him. I mean, we just saw it last time out against the Yankees, even after a rough start. And but really, the top guys are Wheeler, Giolito, and Scherzer for me. And then on FanDuel, I'm using Scherzer, Scherzer and Wheeler exclusively.
You like it? Do you like the Tigers?
I didn't get into the Tigers. You're always into the Tigers, though. They always end up hitting.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know. They rank top for me. I don't know. And my double spend ups. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm actually playing them, but yeah, look at this. I got 17% Castro, 26% Yabba Dabba Doo, Candelario. I got all kinds of shit with all kinds of stuff with the Tigers. So
yeah, I get it.
With all these big spend ups. Speaking of which, did you say you were playing Kershaw?
I'm not playing Kershaw tonight. I completely get it if you want to. It's just that team against the lefty is a little bit tough, especially with the team that's as familiar with them as San Diego. And I just don't think you need to go there.
Right.
I do think that my family hated me when I said this earlier today. I mean, Blake Snell, this is the perfect kind of pitcher to attack the Dodgers, but this is a very different lineup that they're going to be putting out there tonight, it's a worse lineup, but it might actually be better against Snell than the other. But I do think Snell is an awesome tournament play. I'm not going to be stacking the Dodgers or anything. I think Snell is a really, really good play that no one's going to get to because there's these great aces on the mound.
I have a dumb question. He comes in and says, "You guys really on Snow is out of type." Did you write him up on the site?
I
put it up there. Oh, okay. Because it was weird because you and I were just talking about it. And I'm like, it was like one of those Facebook things. Like, how do they know?
Yep.
That you were talking? Oh, you actually put Snow up
Snell,
there.
I think it's my 7th pitcher or 6th pitcher.
Gotcha.
And I know it sounds crazy, but if you look at who the Dodgers are putting out there, and just the fact that the Dodgers, if you have these off-speed throwing lefties and the guys who don't really generate any real like power, not really like power arms. In general, lefties have been able to get the Dodgers over the last years anyway, and I just think it's an interesting spot to take a shot on a guy with I think a pretty high upside. You look, he has the second highest K prop on the slate at 6.5. And no one's going to play him, and that's good enough for me. I like the long shot play. I think it should be looked at as a long shot play. And I do like Max K9 Bronco. I do like Max and Giolito on FanDuel, but mostly it's going to be Max. I'd rather go Max and Wheeler on FanDuel, and I'm definitely using. Sheets, who's your guy on FanDuel?
Yeah, my guy on FanDuel is Cole. So that's what I'm doing. Except that's not exactly true. So Cole is like my top. And again, I got to get used to this. Cole is my top rated guy, and I have like kind of the most of him overall. But in my big one, actually, I did go to Cole and him too. I was gonna play Giolito, then I just changed my mind. I don't know. So that's where I'm at. I got Cole as my FanDuel thing. But I would be remiss if I didn't point out my Hoodoo DraftKings one. If you didn't watch the video earlier, and I'm really into the Erod as an SP2 to be able to if now again I think that you can pay up for both pitchers if you do stuff like like the Tigers. But if you wanted to play real hitters, I mean, you could. I like Erod as my favorite of the cheap ones. Like I like him more than Charlie Morton. I like him more than Brady Singer, and I like him more than Heaney and Flexen and all that. So Erod is my and like you look at it on my board here. I mean, part of it, if not all of it, is because he's just going to be like 10% owned. What about Brady Singer though?
Just didn't find the need to get there. I completely understand the Yankees have been gettable at times this year, but I think there's other places you can go. That's just my personal take.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world or anything like that. I'm more siding with the Yankees having a couple power bats from the Yankees, but Brady Singer's been really good. So I'm not going to have a huge argument. I like the ownership where it's going to be on Scherzer. If I was playing cash, I wouldn't be using Scherzer. And I just, for what it's worth, we're sitting here together, we're doing the show together, and we are totally on different pages with the pitching. I am on the board with entirely fading Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
I'm using the junk stuff argument. I'm using the fact that I don't think there's likely to really be a weather delay of any kind. We're in New York now. It was raining pretty hard earlier, but it's clearing up. So I think we'll be fine with that. But I just like the other pitchers enough, and I think he's going to have a high ownership. And I think that we've seen, over and over again, these Royals, they just put the bat on the ball. Third fewest strikeouts in the major leagues. It's going to be hard to, I just don't want that for upside. I would rather take a shot with Scherzer or on the other side of that game with Wheeler. And I think it's time we start to just acknowledge that regardless of what happens tonight or over the next couple of weeks, that Wheeler really deserves.
He's sick.
He belongs in the conversation with all these guys. So I'm a big fan of Wheeler. But yeah, that's pretty much most of my stuff over there. Guys, how about you? Who do you like who we maybe haven't mentioned? What else have we got out there?
Well, I'll also tell you like my hitting on FanDuel as well, but I'm struggling, man, because I really like the Cubs, but you're telling me, but the umpire is really bad, right?
Yeah. So for full stacks, I came down a little bit. Like I have more 2 and 3 men, and then on DraftKings I've got a few 4-man stacks for the Cubs. And just taking one guy out, just extreme pitchers umpire. It doesn't mean that you can't stack them fully and be totally fine. But any little extra excuse when I don't have them as that different than the Astros, for example, I think is enough of a reason to get me off. And then there's other places to go, and there's a lot of different ways you can stack the Astros and get some lower ownership. Playing a lot of Chas McCormick, who I like quite a bit. People are going to want to play Garcia, which I like too as well. But I think that and the Cubs lineup is also a little bit weaker without Rizzo in there. You get those extra 2 Rizzo walks a game that help out the offense for stacking. And yeah, just don't be alarmed, guys, if the Yankee game is delayed. It shouldn't change anything. There's some rumors of delay that I just saw.
Okay.
So
it'll be delayed, right? But I think
they'll start once they play. They'll play.
I believe that's the case. My hitting on FanDuel, like the Cubs, Seattle, and St. Louis, maybe San Francisco. I'm crazy. The issue that you have with San Francisco is always the pinch hit risk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to make sure you take the right guys, I suppose.
I like the contrarian nature. Actually, that's a really clever play. He's got great hitting weather in LA. And Heaney, we know what Heaney can be on both sides of it. So I think that makes a lot of sense. By the way, looking at Sheets' spreadsheets while I'm going through this is pretty awesome stuff, and it's making my head spin. It is so much stuff going on over here. It's incredible. I'm at least somewhat fortunate that sometimes I can keep a good portion of stuff in my head, but this is out of control. He's got an unbelievable amount of information there. Anyway.
Well, don't forget the horse racing that's going on here also.
Oh my God! Look at this over here on the computer number 2. We've got the horse races going on.
Yeah.
Which I need some tips, by the way, on that one at some point.
It's
guys, if you do have a chance, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't mind. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we're excited. We're going to be having some new tools. I've got a new thing that I've been working on with someone. Sheets has got his guy. Nice. I've got my guys, and it's going to be a pretty cool thing. It'll basically just give you my ownerships of the players and anybody over. Let's depending on the slate, but we'll say double digits would be the idea. A quick explanation, a blurb of why I like them, whether it be a part of a stack or something else. And for NBA, it'll be much more interesting than just saying I like him because this pitcher is left-handed and he's right-handed. We're going to get really, really in depth with some of the NBA stuff next season.
Yeah, and football's right around the corner, Absolutely. As they say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny this thing about football. Everybody who wins all the big ones in football, they always say, well, I obviously don't know as much about football. And that's you're sort of the poster guy for this, that you can know a sport, but don't need to be the best at it and still be the most successful at times or be as successful as anyone else. And football is a sport that it's probably the lower on my there's enough people who know more about it than I do. But aggregating information and learning how to build lineups, knowing how to build competitive lineups is really, really a big deal. Looks like Sheets is working on something I can't even understand right now. So guys, pop into the questions. Let us know what you're doing. A Big Ticket asked the question that we get pretty often, which is a good question. Do I like full stacking? Seems like not a lot of teams in great spots. So this is the kind of slate you can avoid the full stacks if you want to, more than usual. I know that I've said that a million times, but I've also been much more on the full stacking side of things. In general, I think that should be your default mode. But if you can find, if you like stacks that are fairly popular, I can go with a 4-3-1 with Houston and the Cubs and be a little bit different, or a 4-2-2 with Houston and both Chicago's, the Cubs and the White Sox, or something like that. That's just how it's a way to get different while keeping your stacks the same. And I agree, there's no team that's projected to, but somebody's probably going to score 10 runs tonight. A couple other stacks that that could be in contention for that. You mentioned San Francisco. I would also throw in Oakland as a really, really strong stack.
You know what? That was going to be my. I did a video on this too, and I hand built it on the video. It was going to be Oakland.
Right then, Jamie pops in with Oakland, which means I have to get some Oakland in my lineups.
Yeah, that was my main lineup actually on Oakland for a while, but I changed it.
Okay, well, let's get a little Oakland exposure.
Yeah, there was it was on FanDuel, but I mean.
Yeah, they're expensive on DK, but I think look, it's in Texas, which we don't like, but this is a spot where you can pick on the guy who's going to start for probably a couple innings. And if Lyles is healthy enough, probably comes in after that. And you know how much I love to stack against Jordan Lyles. So
right.
I'm a very big fan of some Oakland one-offs or full stacks. I think are totally fine. I think I'm going to get a little bit more exposure to that right now.
Let me see what FanDuel looks like.
They're a lot cheaper over there. I know that part. Let's see. And
they're okay, but I keep coming back to St. Louis.
You got the terrible bullpen behind Skubal. The problem is Skubal is actually he can be really good at times, but I get it. I totally get it. How who else is on St. Louis out there? Because I know that I've heard that before a couple times today.
Yeah, they're getting ownership. You know what I mean? It's not like there's anything earth shattering. I had them right. It's just like between them and the Cubs are the top two on FanDuel. And the Cubs much lower owned, probably because of the umpire.
Yep.
And then like the Houston, they'll be popular. Yeah, but the San Francisco thing might be.
Yeah, I kind of
might be kind of the hoodoo over there. No,
I like that. I think it's a good idea. It's hard with these big slates because obviously you don't want to spread yourself too thin, but there's a lot of things you can do on this slate and not have to worry too much about crazy chalkiness, which is why I feel more comfortable playing my fairly chalkier stacks with, secondary stacks that are low owned or pitchers that are really low owned. Like I'm using a lot of, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I mentioned Stripling and Flexen on DraftKings. I think are really interesting. especially Stripling. He would be the priority one for me. You really don't necessarily need the savings, but it allows you to pay up for all those guys who everyone thinks are going to be 1,000,000% owned, but they can't be because if you're going to pay up at pitching, you can't afford all those guys.
Right.
So that's the way I'm sort of choosing to look at it. You know what we should do, guys? I've been wanting to do this game for a while, and I think that I will do it. I'll be the sacrificial lineup, but everybody's going to say one name, and we're not going to stack anything, but everybody throw out one name of a hitter, the first 9 guys, or the first 8 guys.
That you can fit in the lineup.
That can fit in the lineup logically. And you know, well, maybe we'll have to leave a little bit on the table or whatever, but put some good hitters in there. Let's not just do the minimum cost guys. I'll even use big tickets as a start. We'll start with Skye Bolt in that.
That's an actual person?
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah,
Skye Bolt?
Batting 9th for an unbelievable name. Not an unbelievable player, but an unbelievable name. But he'd be a guy who we could put in that lineup. Let's throw out some names, some weird names tonight. We're
DraftKings.
Yeah, DraftKings.
We're gonna build.
Let's skip Skye Bolt.
We'll leave. What we're gonna do? We'll leave. Like I said, we'll leave 2 spots available to make DraftKings happy.
Okay.
We have just actual players.
Ooh, we got Wander Franco in there. Okay, there you go. That's the one who.
Who's that?
He's the next great superstar of the major leagues. He's against your boy, and he's minimum cost. It's frustrating. So I had basically almost X'd him out earlier on, only because I think he's such an obviously good play, and I just thought everybody's going to do it. But Patrick Wisdom, I love it. K9 Bronco, one of my favorite plays already on the slate.
Vaughn.
Andrew Vaughn. Okay, I like it. It's a little different.
Is he multi-positional? No, he's outfield.
He's down to just outfield now. So we've got to get some first baseman, second baseman.
We got to get some salary, I think, too.
Maybe not, though. I don't think so.
We're going to be leaving $6,000 on the table in a second.
Oh, but you can take Skye Bolt out of there. I think that was more for a stack. That was before we did the game.
Well, excuse me. So then how are we going to stack him?
You said it before we did the game.
Well, I just heard that Chris Taylor was going to take him deep.
Okay, Smooth. Jay Smooth. Let's take Chris Taylor then. Why not?
Hang on 1 second. Come on in.
Are you guys on?
Yeah, we are.
Hello.
Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing?
Nice to meet you. I'm Ashley.
Nice to meet you.
This is my friend
Hi,
Chloe.
Chloe.
Hey, Bobby, nice to meet you.
Is the new microphone going?
That's the new microphone.
Very
It's
exciting.
Nice to
Are
see
you
you.
guys on right now?
Yes.
Very cool. All right, we're gonna go upstairs.
Okay, we'll see you in a few.
See ya.
So Chris Taylor's going to take him deep. O'Hearn at minimum salary for some leverage. What position is he?
O'Hearn. Oh yeah, Hearn is a minimum cost at first.
It might be O'Hearn. It'll be O.
They gave me
O'Hearn.
yeah.
We're going to need some salary, guys.
We maybe don't. Maybe we just leave it all out there.
Okay.
Let it roll.
Well, I'm going to be putting the top 2 pitchers in.
Yeah, there's no reason not to at this point.
So
Who
now
are
we
the
got
top
5,000 a man left. If we put Cole and Scherzer in.
There you go.
Randy A. Who is that?
Who is it?
I don't even know what is that. Rosarena?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good
Oh, beautiful.
one. Why not?
I like it.
Why not a Rosarena?
So this is what we're gonna mess around. See, I have 2 spots available, so we can't fill these in, but I could take 1 out and then replace. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So Scherzer's now out. So who's at second base? Posey. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, this is fun, actually, guys. Some form of this could be the winner here.
So now, what I think we should do, we can't totally JM to win it up. We gotta correlate this a little bit, right? Can't have not 8 guys from 8 teams. We can't.
How do we? We'll take this Skye Bolt out of there. Maybe we do that to start.
Why are we making a value judgment about Skye Bolt?
Because he's batting 9th and
he's batting 9th. All right, fair enough. So Skye Bolt is out. So what outfielder for either Chicago, the White Sox, Tampa? We got 2 Tampas already, right? So we got a Rosarena and Franco. You want to complete that that 3-man with who? Meadows?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah?
That's perfect. Yeah. Why
Well,
not?
don't ask me. What do these guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys
What do I
think? You
know?
guys answer that. I don't know the answer to that one.
What we got to do next time is not say why we're doing it. Say, hey, just throw up some names. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're
Or
right.
like the first 9 names that people just ask about in chat.
Just naturally.
Just put those 9 in.
I
there.
love that. It's actually a great idea.
Otani and Jock.
Oh, Jock, perfect.
Okay, well, wait. We're running out of outfielders. Well, Jacques is on the same team as someone else in the lineup, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so he's on with he's can be very wise to play jock with wisdom. Yeah.
So she loves to drop one in every show.
So
You gotta do one.
And you can't play Mercedes. You can't play the. So we have Posey. Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Austin Slater a type of guy that's gonna get pinch hit for?
So Austin Slater is. Yeah, they've done it both ways. He definitely has a risk. I don't know what the percentage is. I don't have that pulled up right now, but
there is such a thing like percentage.
Yeah, but I like to wait till the All-Star break after to do it because everybody looks at like 20 game sample sizes and every team's different every year, so I never trust it. Ohtani, you can never go wrong. Good call, Jay Smooth. Never an argument against
I get to
Ohtani.
pick one, so I'm going to take Slater. I'll go Slater to go with the Posey call.
Nice.
So we're going to have. So now we got. We got 2 Tampas, 2 Chicagos, 2 San Franciscos. One. What if I told you have 1 KC and a second baseman spot eligible with unlimited salary?
Love it.
So you can win it up right there.
There it is.
You can totally win it up right there. But you got to take Cole out because
I still get the feeling DraftKings is going to be mad at us even for this, even though we should be allowed to do this.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
This is my core. You said you could put a core up, right?
Yeah.
This is the core, the 2-2-2-2. The 2-2-2-2.
I'm surprised no one's asked about Charlie Morton tonight, so I'll just throw out that after the season high pitches. I love Charlie Morton in general, but maybe I should be playing him. I'm sort of second guessing myself on this because it is a pretty weak Mets team, and I think Morton is just a constantly mispriced pitcher.
I'm going to tell you what. K9 Bronco. How many people are on here? 1, 2. Who gave input? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people. Okay, you guys, you can't get better than this. All of you get a 5% free roll on this lineup.
Ooh.
Which we are putting in. And we're going to put him in. And then, we could be totally geniuses. You want to put him in as the second pitcher?
Yeah, why not?
This guy right here?
Oh, there we go. Is this still being shown? Oh, it's not being shown.
No.
Oh, beautiful.
Well,
yeah.
that's why I can do this. Right?
This is the super genius. But you know what? Maybe we don't need the super genius play. That's what worries me about that one.
You want to, who else? What else
You
do
go
you do, though?
Wheeler and what's his name? You can go perfect Wheeler and Giolito.
Don't say anything. Yes. Almost. Oh, right. So
perfect.
Okay.
I love it.
You guys don't know it, but you all have a 5% free roll in an $18 entry that could win $100,000.
Love it. Let's do it.
Well, it is in. Let's see who else we got.
Gotta take my ownership projections real quick.
Yeah. So when you actually you put yours in to your optimizer, like what?
I don't use my optimizer.
No, but this thing's usually. I remember you used to.
I do when I'm building. When I'm mass entering, I definitely like to have my min max exposures done.
Okay.
But I generally don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Okay. I like to hand build too much with baseball.
Okay. Project Mayhem.
Yes, and now people have got a better idea of what that Scherzer actually will be owned because he is going to be.
Conforto and McNeil might be back. A Mets. Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't even know the Mets were playing. They have Stroman tonight going, right?
Yeah, Stroman's going. Of course, overpriced. I mean, he's a really good pitcher, but I just not paying the price for him personally.
Yeah. Let me look at FanDuel. Oh, so let me just kind of recite some cheapos. My top cheapo is Yabba Dabba Doo. Then Tyler O'Neill. Then Brantley's still real cheap. Slater, as I mentioned before. Alvarez. Ooh, Hayward got in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hayward's in the lineup at 2,400.
I think the best is Franco, but I just think that you're not as into him for.
Yeah.
He is going to be, and this guy is the number one prospect in all of baseball.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty unanimous on that one.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean he's going to do anything tonight. It's baseball. It's his first game.
Yeah.
It's Erod, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Braxton, you check out TrueDFS.com, TRUDFS.
Yep.
It's just TRU. Right?
TRU, no, TRUE.
It is TRUE.
Yeah, TrueDFS.com. Spelled out.
Let's see, put it up there.
But yeah, we're still working on some stuff, but it's
certainly
functional.
It's coming up.
Sheets is sheets. By the way, if you're not looking at these things, you're messing up. These things are freaking incredible, and you're not going to find that actually anywhere else with the way that he does
with
things.
That level of detail.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible stuff. So I'm just I'm going to go ahead since he doesn't like talking himself up. I'll do it for him. But yeah, I'm going to be almost ready in a minute to get my.
The one thing I got to do, I don't say a better job of. So someone came into me on the Discord and they asked like different questions about the about how to interpret them, and I said, listen, I did a video, but maybe I didn't do a great job. So if you do have questions about it, fire it in there. The one thing I would say, by the way, is, and I felt bad saying this to some guy. Some guy said, "Listen, I want to DM you a couple of questions about stuff like that." I'm just really bad. With the DMs.
Yeah.
I can. You know what? Not to say that I'm too busy or whatever it is, but I barely can even check my cell phone for my messages. So I'm not going to be. I'm not going to get. I'm really not going to get to the DMs. I'm just not going to get there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'll show you an example. Like, I'm actually, here's a Discord. I'm fairly confident. I'll put it up here that I have a message for me on Discord, and I don't even know how to access it. So I presume that when you go into here, this little red thing, like here, means that there's a message for me. I don't even know how to access it. It's got to be from somebody, from somewhere.
That one's in general. So you got the one up top there. It's up top.
That's just a post.
The director always up top.
But I thought this means I have a message.
No, you have just a general.
Oh, now it's gone.
It means
beautiful.
See, so you're part of everyone, so you were tagged.
Oh, okay.
That's why. That's okay. Up there.
So as I was saying, it's a struggle with that kind of stuff.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. Let's see.
I actually think on the other side of that, we mentioned Scooble. I mean, we mentioned St. Louis, but I think you could make an argument for Scooble. I probably won't do it here, but I think this is not like, this guy has stuff, and he stays in this price range, and these guys put up plenty of games 25 or better, and we've been happy for. So, K9, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate you being with us all the way from back in the day, and I really do appreciate it. I'm actually going to go out and meet some of the other guys in New York this week.
Who's around?
So Angel, our buddy, and he's actually created a song for when I was doing my own stuff for a while before, right. So that's going to be cool. And then a couple of other guys whose names I just don't want to mention without them saying them knowing that I'm mentioning their names. But but I will say it after we meet if they do agree with that. But it's pretty cool. It's nice to meet up with the people, put a face to the chat. I don't know, not to the name, to everything, I guess. But yeah,
dude, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm telling you, this is the part that I really do. Listen, when this works, this is the part I enjoy the most. Really, the interaction with everybody.
Absolutely.
For those of you that don't remember, I doubt that anybody here was probably on the Poker X Factor days, but back when I did the Poker X Factor, that was the fun part, and the people that got to meet each other from the community, not to get too gushy about it or not to suggest this is the case because it's a little different type of community. But I don't know if you heard this, but like 3 years after the fact, I heard the two people that met in the PXF chat got married.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You don't get any better than that one.
Yeah,
I haven't had anything like that in my time. It's pretty.
That
awesome.
Was effed up. Yeah. I only wish it's that it was. That the live sweat was a little bit more conducive to whatever, because what happens, let's say that we're live in something and we're deep. So if we pull that up, what are we going to do? We're going to pull up the DraftKings lobby, just watch it update. We can't put the actual game up.
No, but we can talk through it. We can have it playing on in the background. They can't get upset if it's playing on in the background. We will be doing more live sweat stuff. And Adam, thank you for your nice comments as well. Really appreciate it. I know that you've just even your questions, I can tell how much better of a DFS player you've gotten to be because you really see. Yeah, you've always been great to us, and I really appreciate it. We're excited to have you guys here and to keep it going. So okay, guys, let me ask you guys a question. If you're going to use an SP2, you're going to play Wheeler as your SP1, and you want to spend up at your second spot, but you don't want to play Scherzer and you don't want to play Cole, are you going to play Peralta or are you going to jump down to Kershaw or Greinke? I'm curious what you guys think on that one. We get to ask some questions now that we're together.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's an interesting question, actually.
Because I'm running into a situation like that, and I'm just curious.
So you're saying that would you rather play Kershaw or Peralta? Is that really the question?
Kershaw, Peralta, or if you want to include Greinke against Baltimore, you could include him, I guess, and Blake Snell.
You want another?
Who do you
2%er? What about your man? What about Alcantara?
I thought about him, but I just don't like messing with the team that doesn't strike out, even though I know they did in the one game and everybody was thrilled about it. I don't like really messing with the Blue Jays, but it is a great, stadium downgrade. They lose their DH, not the worst thing in the world. yeah. Anyway, and again, I will be once we do get the behind the paywall stuff, you guys will be having my percentages of ownership, and it might always be a few percent off, but it's going to be as close up to lock, updated automatically, and you guys will know what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
And
that's really, really good. That I'm trying to even think technologically how that can work.
I've got a buddy who, because they insist that he can set it up so it'll do it.
Yeah.
But I don't personally know how to do that. But I'll if we can do that, it's, look, that's what we're trying to do. Complete transparency.
Yeah.
The sites got upset with us for showing what we're doing, but that's what we're doing. That's how we play. Freddie Peralta, I like it. K9. You know what? I think that's where I was leaning. It feels, everybody says, oh, Arizona doesn't strike out. Well, tell that to Walker Buehler. And Freddie Peralta can strike anybody out. It's I think that's probably what I'll end up doing.
One of those guys is between Cole, Giolito, Scherzer, and I guess Peralta. One of them's getting 40, right? I mean, like,
seems like you'd think so. It will feel like a little silly. I mean, I don't think Peralta's so far. I guess he's ahead of. I mean, it's a tough matchup for Kershaw. It wouldn't surprise me also if Kershaw does his normal 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run or something.
He's against the Padres, though, right?
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking out loud.
And who is Haney pitching against?
Heaney's pitching against the Giants. I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm just not touching it. I understand if you want to. I'm totally fine with it. It's just not where I'm going. I do think it's kind of interesting. I know you mentioned you like Erod. Because of Tampa Bay's pricing, they sort of fit themselves into a mini stack.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind because you've got the young rookie, the superstar, then you've got a nice Mejia, who's actually a pretty good hitting catcher at 2,500. There's a way you could build that really easy. Maybe you just throw one expensive bat in there and you've got a nice little stack. So I kind of like that. He can be combustible. So I kind of like that little way of thinking a little bit.
Yeah.
Are we really 0 for trolls? We have no trolls at 30 minutes in? That's pretty good stuff.
I don't know why you would say that.
I knocked on wood.
That's true.
I did my part.
Make sure that everybody's in my lineups here. It looks that way.
I'm just seeing if I can get an updated umpire data because I'm having a little trouble with the umpire data today. And I looked at my old place because my normal place wasn't doing it. And I don't have it either place. I think they're using the same thing actually. Okay, let me see real quick what the umpire data. If we've got any new stuff.
Richie Jackson.
All right. Wow, I can't even get over there. Huh. Yeah, because I have those other pictures. Those other pictures close enough to where that umpire data. Oh, here we go. I do have it updated. So we do have an extreme pitchers umpire for Heaney in the Giants game.
Oh, is that right?
Bill Miller. Miller. So Garrett Cole. Okay, you know what? I take back what I said. I'm having Garrett Cole in one lineup. Okay, that's where I'm at. Bill Miller. It's enough of a reason for me. I don't need anything else. Bill Miller, and I automatically have to do that. I don't have a choice. I don't think.
So, I guess you guys are very familiar with him, probably just from like watching old videos. But the greatest, I remember it's like it was yesterday. The greatest like pitchers umpire display ever. There was a playoff game where Florida with I think Hernandez, one of the Hernandez brothers, and the umpire's name was Eric Gregg, and it was literally like the greatest exhibition of the widest strike zone of all time. Like if you Google it, I don't want to Google it because then we'll get we're just gonna get
trouble again.
Yeah, there it is. You just put in Eric Gregg 1997 playoffs. Like look, it even has it up here.
What do they say?
Whoop, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
You don't remember this? This is actually a deciding game. Ready? Hup.
Oh my goodness.
And then hup.
That is
hup.
Yeah.
Hup.
You guys look it up when you get a chance.
This was a deciding game.
I mean, he actually that would be
he's consistent.
Be trying to do that.
There he is. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Wait, and here comes I think this is the close out the game. Wait, there's one. There's two. Hey! Oh!
This is wild.
We got 20 more seconds. Yep. Levon Hernandez. Whee! There it is. That was it. That was the clinch. Yep.
That's I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah,
I think I've
legendary.
heard about it, but I did not know that
Legendary.
one. That's pretty
1997.
amazing.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is awesome. What's the more mini stacks? Boston's on tonight. Okay. I hadn't actually crossed through Boston myself. I did like JD,
I didn't
but
either.
I didn't get into them. Kershaw / Sandy, how much money are you willing to leave on the table tonight? Oh, okay. So I'm not leaving much on the table tonight personally. Even the lineups where I spent down, there's enough hitters that I wanted to target at the high end. I am using some of those Yankees bats and some of the expensive Houston bats as well as the expensive Cubs bats. But where I'm spending down, I'm sort of trying to use that money towards the stacks that I like and the guys who I want the most.
On DraftKings, I'm leaving the following on the table: 400, 600, 300, 200, 600, 400, 300, 200, 100, 300, 0, 600, 500, 200, 200, 300, 600, 700, 0, 700, 0, 400, 200. So that's a non-zero amount.
No, that's a real amount. And it's interesting though, and I'm all for, like, it's always fine to leave that kind of salary.
But I'm not doing it on purpose.
Right. Anything over 1,000, I feel like the only reason I have with it is that, are we actually
right?
We're not trying to create. We don't need to try and create a unique lineup on a big slate. It's going to be unique. You can have a lineup with everybody. Try to make a lineup that's not unique actually in a tournament, and you actually still might end up creating a unique lineup. And I have plenty of friends who have won the big tournaments by entering their cash game lineups into the big ones, and had guys all at 20+%, and somehow they still are unique.
So I got issues here. I have Rizzo in some lineups, so I have Rizzo.
Here, you clear out your things. I'll talk for a minute.
Rizzo, Grichuk, and Happ.
Gino, was the more mini stacks a question or a thought? I'm just curious. Elaborate on it a little bit. I'm curious where you're going, because I'd love to know about that. We got Sheets editing his FanDuel over here, which is actually on our thing.
Here, I'll put it over here.
And they've never complained to us, so we don't have anything we have to do for them yet, until they do at least. I mentioned I like Seattle, right? I really like Seattle. I mean, look, when you watch Kyle Freeland pitch, I know it's been in Colorado some, but it hasn't always been in Colorado, and he does legitimately look like potentially the worst pitcher in major leagues. Now, this also could be a night where if we had a oddly enough a Colorado game or a stack that we needed that everybody cost like $7K, you could play him as a 4,200 pitcher. I'm not doing that, but any pitcher in baseball who's an actual starter and will pitch 5 innings if they don't give up more than a few runs, can get 12 to 15 fantasy points, but you just don't need to do anything like that. But I do like the Seattle stack, and I actually go the opposite way with what I'm doing, because I do think Seattle will get some ownership on DraftKings for some of these cheap prices, and I don't think they'll get any ownership at all on FanDuel, especially Dylan Moore. Ty France is 2,900.
I like Dylan Moore.
Yeah, but on FanDuel, for example, like Ty France is 3,500 and he's 2,900 on DraftKings, which is just absurd.
Right.
So I'm playing him on FanDuel. That's the route I'm going. Guys, if you want to talk about NBA, we got a few more things here. K9 left 300, 100, 500, 0, 200, 500, 300. I think that's right around where my range is. K9. That's sort of where I go. Let's see. Project Mayhem says my
Just gotta get rid of Grichuk and Happ.
Oh wait, okay, that's interesting. So your Italian professor. So Project Man says his Italian professor told him that Italians say to knock on metal as wood isn't a conductor, so it doesn't pass any bad vibes onto it if you're trying, which actually does make sense. That's interesting. Oakland stack, absolutely. We talked about it a little before. Didn't get to many of them myself. Do like Olsen, Laureano, and Murphy, but I don't think that it's something you need to do. I just think it's definitely something I can get behind. I am on board with it, even if I'm not doing it a ton myself. I'm not playing 5,000 lineups today like I sometimes do. Just making sure there's no news because I have it all on my phone and I rather than have my phone up here.
Just get rid of Grichuk and Happ, and then I'll be happy, so to speak.
Okay, and then we can talk real quickly about the NBA if anybody wants to. Let's see. Heredia was scratched, doesn't do anything. I think that's pretty much caught up on most of the baseball
$700
stuff.
outfielder. That's good enough.
Let's see.
And then Happ. Then we can talk NBA.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick look. I wasn't going to play the showdown tonight, but because we're here, I'm here with Sheets, and we're going to go to dinner and probably check out the game a little bit later. So I'm gonna have to get something in there.
Yep.
it's an interest. I do want to say, as she's just doing that, I'll just start off my thing about. I do think these are interesting times for showdown slates, especially games 2 through. It depends on how the series is going, but anytime you have a Clippers team and you're trying to find your way, it's always an interesting showdown slate. My first thought after watching not my first thought about showdown when I was like, oh, what would I do in a showdown if this came up again? And I think the answer might be really simple. This is going to sound really bad because he's been so bad in the playoffs. He did get some run in the last. I think you're going to see a lot of Zubac, like the normal season Zubac, like 30 minutes potentially. DeMarcus Cousins is. I tweeted this out a while before. I think he's the biggest defensive liability in the history of postseason basketball in the conference finals. Sorry, the history of conference finals basketball. He cannot move. So they cannot mess around with him out there against Ayton, and they can't play their small ball lineup. Now, they can try and be insistent on it and try and get around and try and double and do all that stuff. But I think Zubac is going to end up having to play more for them tonight, regardless of whether he starts or not. Now, if he starts, I actually don't think we have a starting lineup yet. But if he does start, you're going to lose the surprise factor. But I think that playing him as your captain is an interesting way to go. And I don't think that's going to be very, very high, very popular.
Yeah, I got a couple of Zubac ones. The Zubac ones that I have Payne as the captain. So
yeah, so I mean that's the thing is it's probably a reach to play him as the captain because he's not like he's free either. But like I do think that you can get really different in the 30 plus fantasy points is definitely within the realm of possibility. Now, does it get you everything else you need? Because it has to for you to like it. So that's really what the question is. Depending on what the other things you do in your lineup.
What do you think about the idea that in these like NBA showdown slates where there's no experimenting, you know what I mean? They're just playing their guys.
Yeah.
And they're no blowouts either.
Mm-hmm.
That probably it's not the worst thing in the world to play. I don't want to say to play the chalk, but to like play what you think's going to win. You know what I mean? Like give up on the idea that you're going to be able to win with like a unique lineup, really.
Well, you might be able to. I mean, we've seen a few though. That
have we?
And I think there's a time, it's the postseason and we know who's going to play most, but we don't entirely know who's going to play. There are some surprising for the Clippers. Like, for example, Cousins would have been a guy who, you could have been used last time. Maybe not. I guess for a showdown, it would have been a little harder because he didn't play enough. But you probably could have because he was probably 200, so you probably could have fit everybody else in or something.
You feel like playing 35% each one more?
No.
Okay.
But
the good thing about everybody should know this by now. Okay, what's the good thing about having 35% each one more? The answer is that you got 65% of lineups that are probably going to be alive.
That's for sure.
And with that said, I'll probably have 80% of my DeMarcus Cousins lineups alive when he busts.
Yeah,
because I have 20% DeMarcus Cousins too.
So. Oh, you do? Yeah, I think that he's probably. I think I'm sort of. I don't know what happened with the Beverly thing in the last game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he saw an uptick. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw. I mean, again, you saw Rondo at their closing, and he's free. So obviously you can play him, but I think Zubac and Rondo. I
got 45% Rondo. So
it's weird to me that they did that.
What about Saric too? I got all these guys.
7.
I got all these idiots.
I wonder what he's seeing, Ty Lue, in that one. You have Saric in that. Yeah, that makes some sense.
By shuffling, I got 100 of the guys that are gonna do stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got 100 of Payne, 100 of Booker, 100 of Paul George, and then I'm shuffling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they obviously feel like they were trying to use Rondo to run the offense, but the weird part is they didn't do that the game before,
right?
And that's kind of confusing. I don't know.
You know what? Kind of a weak game. We could probably be able to bounce back is Bridges.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we always love Bridges. I love Bridges too.
Yeah.
Mr. So Jeff and Gundy call him because he's the best cutter in the league.
Best cutter in the league?
Mm-hmm. He reads, he said he knows when to cut the better than anybody else does.
What about, I don't have much Terrence Mann.
I like Terrence Mann though.
Yeah.
I just think if I were them, I would go back to what worked in Game 7 against Utah, and I would just let except for they're going to have to, they can't go as small. They're just not going to be able to. But I would be playing Mann over Rondo and Beverly at this point. But I'd probably be playing some of the other guys as well.
Cartoons and Serial is a heavy tournament guy, and he's going to play Tatis and Machado. they've been killing it the past 10 days and all season and do good against Kershaw.
That's fine. I have no problem with that, by the way. Even as a Dodger fan, like I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's wrong to play him.
Yeah. However, I mean, I just in general,
Don't necessarily on big slates want to pick on Kershaw.
no. What I was gonna say, it's I wouldn't necessarily just use the last 10 days where San Diego's basically been playing in Colorado
Mm-hmm.
to indicate how well they've been playing.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, they're obviously beasts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you though, Bobby. I mean, like for 15 games is 30 teams, so you have like 200, 260 whatever players to choose from
Mm-hmm.
to hit that can hit. I don't know if picking on Kershaw is
Not
the
to
right
mention
idea.
a good bullpen behind him, so the multiple home run thing is unlikely. That's the only problem with it. Like you're going to need at least the equivalent of a home run from those positions usually to win a tournament. That's the only problem.
Right.
And one thing I would say in basketball tonight is I think maybe like I'm leaning towards the maybe fading of Devin Booker if you want to get different, because it's such it's just too easy to. I don't know how he doesn't.
Oh my God! I can't
Still
believe I
might do
didn't
it,
see
though.
this. I can't believe I didn't see this on
What's that?
Retream. Look at this. So let's just say,
Yeah.
I don't like Project Mayhem, but I do. Hold
Oh.
on. No. I could block him from here on YouTube. I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know you could from your stream either. Hey,
Wow.
awesome.
No, what I was going to do, this is literally the thing I learned for the day, and I got to paste this somewhere. I can't paste this.
Mm-hmm.
Italians say to knock on metal as wood isn't a conductor.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah,
So it doesn't pass any bad vibes onto it if you're trying to, which makes sense. I love that.
that's awesome stuff.
That's
right
like a Matt thing. Matt's going to like that one. What's up, Molly? Yeah, I know, Molly. You're a tough guy.
Zubac. How do we get him in there? Fade Booker and George. See if that works.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, if you fade Booker, then they're probably not going to be in the game, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I honestly, I don't know how that works. I'm trying to find a way that it could, but it's really hard for me. It's easier for me to come up with the.
well, you know what you might get like some game like the Hawk game where just Trae Young like just doesn't do it, but the rest of the team does.
But even that game, he put up like 60 fantasy points.
Really?
Yeah, he had 1 million assists. It's tough with these guys, and they're
They're playing
so
51
high.
minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can expect that Booker will be trapped up high, and they'll put more George on him. So I actually think fading George makes a little bit of sense.
Fading George.
Fading Paul George.
Oh.
Yeah, as much as it feels gross, look, he's still gonna do well. It's not like a great play, and that means you have to play Reggie Jackson basically. By the way,
Tell them what you told me. Yeah, tell me this.
Do you know who the number one rated player in isolation? The number one rated player in isolation basketball in the NBA this season is Reggie Jackson. And it's funny. Everybody likes to always write guys off, and this guy will never. You're never going to win with these guys on your team. Reggie Jackson has become a much better basketball player. Partly the fact that he can actually shoot now. But he can play, man, and that was amazing to me. I was shocked to hear that. But he is the number one rated player as of according to Second Spectrum. So you take that for what it's worth, which is a pretty good source.
Now, I would say, in fairness, that's partially a function of who they decide to send at you. You know what I mean? Like if they don't have any respect for you, they'll send a bad defender, and you'll probably be better in isolation against them.
That's fair. That is fair. I mean, yeah, you've got Kawhi and Paul George on the wings usually, so that makes some sense.
So I'd like to think that take a guy like Lillard, for example. Like he might not be so great in isolation just because they're always running like 100 guys at him.
Right.
I guess that would be
Yeah.
isolation.
Okay. That's true, I guess. Well, yeah,
we're doing a deep dive. We got like Phoenix Clippers
on
replays up here. Yeah,
I love it.
I like to say I did it on purpose. Cam Johnson's he's been getting in. I guess I got all hands on deck, I suppose.
Yeah, Cam Johnson will definitely play.
They hired the person above.
The Hawks are actually in the Eastern Conference. By the way, I haven't spoken to you guys since then. I will say this. If you watched the end of the Hawks game and the Trae Young thing with his father, and you didn't get a little tear or whatever, you just hate life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep.
That was so awesome. I mean, we'll throw in the fact that you keep forgetting these are like people with a parent stuff. Like the fathers there at arenas, like hearing like 20,000 people saying F Trae Young.
Right.
Like the whole, then Trae Young's balding. They had that going on.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there the whole time as his father. You know what I mean? Sitting there watching it, just have him come up there and you sit at the pumped fist on the guy's face. I mean, that was awesome.
That was pretty awesome. I agree. And by the way, I'll take the L. I'll take this time to take my L on Trae Young. I deserved it. I deserved my L.
Oh, when you say that team with him wasn't going to do anything, right?
Well, I mean, I just said that. I said they're not going to. I don't think they're going to win the title. I still don't think they're going to have a chance against Milwaukee. They might win a game. They might even be the first game. But I do think that Trae Young. I certainly cannot say. I can't talk any more crap about him. He's awesome, and I'll take the huge.
I'll tell you, I'll take an L on something. When they got what's his name, CP3 over at Phoenix, I'm like, Booker and CP3, what's that going to do? I mean, how is that going to work? Booker needs the ball like every freaking possession. He's like too selfish to and they said that he can't play as a team member. Booker's been freaking insane all year in his role.
Absolutely.
You know, and CP3, I mean, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's playing like freaking crippled the last 6 weeks.
Yeah,
probably,
I was on that one. That was one of my best bets, actually.
Yeah.
But that one I got right a little bit. But I do think that it's interesting how players like the whole way they. I mean, even Paul George is going through the other side of it right now. I mean, he was Paul George, pandemic pee and all this stuff that everybody was saying about him. He sort of asked for some of it based on some of his comments, but overall, this guy's an unbelievable basketball player, and all these guys are, and it shouldn't shock us that. Oh, you'll never get over the top with this guy. Those things are all just crap, and they're narratives for talking heads on TV, and we're just talking heads on the internet. So.
I actually, by the way, with all that said, K9, I think Bucks give them the broom.
I don't think this is going to be a close series. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the first game will scare you a little bit or something like that. Yeah. But they got that matchup. Joel Embiid couldn't move laterally. They hunted Joel Embiid the whole series, which no one's done all year because he's a terrific defender. And Trae Young, especially, but even when Herter had the ball. They were hunting Embiid with a high screen and roll, and there was nothing they could do. You had an open floater. If they ended up coming to him, you have a wide open shooter, whether it's Gallinari, whether it's Herter, whether it's Trae Young, whoever's on the other side, whether it's John Collins for a dunk, even cutting down lane. There's just so many. They couldn't do anything defensively with them, and I don't think you should worry, K9 Bronco.
K9, how old are you?
Last time they made this far, they lost 76ers in Iverson. Oh, was that the 01 year?
No, how old? Because I have a story that might date you.
I think it's going to be too old.
How old do you think K9 is?
I bet he's probably closer to my age.
Yeah.
Maybe not. K9 closer to my age, maybe. I'm 39, 44.
Right in the middle.
Okay.
Oh, you're in the middle. He is closer.
Split the difference.
Okay, so you might remember. So you know what? You got a shot. Maybe not. So the Bucks, like back in like the 80s, they were like one of the great teams to like just not quite be good enough to win. Because they were always dealing with the Celtics and the Sixers going back and forth to win the championships, the conference championships. But they had like Sidney Moncrief, Marcus Johnson, Paul Pressey. I mean, they actually Sickman was on the team for a while. They were really, really good. And you mentioned, last time they played Iverson, whatever. So the last, and I went to the Hawks game, the Knicks Hawks playoff game, this at Madison Square Garden. The last playoff game I was at Madison Square Garden before that was, believe it or not, 1983, when Moses Malone went coast to coast to beat the Sixers and like the Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. That was the year where they asked Moses Malone how his team's going to do in the playoffs. He said foe, and foe, meaning he was going to sweep 4-4-4. The only team that got a game off them that year was your Milwaukee Bucks. That was a really, really good team. That
I feel like that's the history a lot with the Bucks, and I mean since Kareem was gone. But I feel like even in the early 2000s with those Ray Allen teams were really good.
I forgot about that.
That was a really, really. Those were some really, really good teams.
Yeah, at the Mecca. That is correct.
Yep.
That is correct.
I think we're good with baseball lines, right? Is there anything else we're missing? Any late news? I don't see anything happening. Let's double check my phone. No. Bitcoin's going down, which makes me feel good because I had I don't want to go down. It's going to go back up anyway, you guys. It just doesn't make me feel pain every time that I see, Bitcoin's now at 65,000.
I'm the best. I'm the best Bitcoin investor of all time. I don't invest in Bitcoin, but I owed somebody money, and I think it was like 25,000 or something. And he says, well, I'm going to want it on GG Poker, and they take Bitcoin, whatever. So I said, fine, I don't even know how to get Bitcoin. So I bought Bitcoin from Micon. He sold me like 30,000 or something like that worth. And like just the way it timed out each time that he needed 5K in US dollars, I was able, I got credit for like Bitcoin 55,000, 58,000, 63,000, 69,000. I sold it. I got rid of all of it just by coincidence. And I sold and I got rid of all of it. I think I almost paid my whole debt just on the appreciation of what I reserved to pay off the debt.
Oh, that's amazing. That really is.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal because, I almost had a good one, but I can't even talk about it. Otherwise, it depresses me. But I think, guys, any other last questions before we get out of here? Because I think we're pretty good. I'm just double checking if I'm missing anything at all. I didn't enter this. Let's see if anybody actually bought this thing here.
You know, I'm going to throw this out there to you guys. Chances that any of you guys do this are, I don't say slim, whatever it is. If any of you guys bet sports, like sports betting, and do it like on a regular basis on like a website, whether it be, I don't know, Bovada, FanDuel, Judges, whatever. If you guys had access to a way to download your bets, in other words, like if you guys had a way, I mean, you should be able to do this, right? To get a template with the results of your bets. I'd be interested in seeing what that looked like. We're working on another project, which in some sense kind of depends on someone's ability to access their bet history. If you guys had any of that, you know, that's something you could DM me.
Yeah.
Like DM me
Same
that
here.
if you had access to that. Yeah, either me or Bobby, that kind of like if you say, oh, I play on XYZ sports betting site and I can access this type of spreadsheet this way. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Just so you guys know, PGA, my sheets for PGA are up there. I did a video on that about 15, 20 minutes. If Bobby can get, an office tomorrow, maybe we'll do a video tomorrow of that. I also have, everything's up there. Literally everything's up there. From Hockey Showdown tonight to NBA Showdown. I didn't get the 2-gamer on the NBA up because it's like 1,000 for versus something like that.
Yeah.
I put the League of Legends stuff on there. Anybody's interested, you know what I mean? I don't proclaim to be an expert in that, but the sheets, they're up there. You could learn, maybe you can figure out a good way to use them. And that's pretty much it. We're going out to dinner with the Sheets family and friends and roommates. We're going to be back watching them. It'd be cool if, before Bobby takes the train back, we gotta sweat. I told him that, he could either take the train back or if he cashed for 100,000, we could spring for an Uber. So let's, we'll root on that. And that's about it.
Yeah, let's get a guy.